Hey there, it's Jenny B from vitalitybyjenny.com. Today I wanted to give you a different way of looking at how to lose weight and specifically why the low-fat, high-raw diet that I promote is so great at helping people lose weight across the board. A very simple, easy way to understand why we tend to gain weight through over the course of years, adding a pound or 5 pounds each year as we go along, is that we are eating foods that are far too concentrated. And so I was going to give you kind of an idea of the range of concentration so that you get a better idea of how these simple choices, daily choices, can make such an impact on our weight. So if you look at a head of greens, so a head of greens has only 100 calories per pound of greens. If you're looking at vegetables, they're generally speaking about 200 calories per pound. Fruit is only 300 calories per pound. If you get to grains and beans and potatoes, those kinds of foods are 500 calories per pound of food. Now the big jump happens when you start looking at meat. Meat is 1,200 calories per pound. So you can see that if you're eating vegetables compared to meat, how much easier it is to overeat on the meat or to get way more calories per bite than when you're eating meat than if you're eating vegetables. So to keep going, cheese is actually 1,700 calories per pound, and so is bread. So remember, grains were only 500 calories per pound, but when you concentrate them, when you grind them up and make them into a flour, all of a sudden that food becomes way easier to digest and is now 1,700 calories per pound. And then of course it keeps going. Chocolate is 3,000 calories per pound. I know, I'm sorry. And then pure oil being the highest at 4,000 calories per pound. So the difference between fruits, 300 calories per pound, to oil, 4,000 calories per pound. I mean, that is such an enormous jump and can explain very easily why this low-fat, high-raw diet helps you to lose weight. You get to eat lots and lots and lots of food, all the food that you want most of the time, and still lose weight because it's so less dense in calories compared to the other foods that of the standard American diet that people are normally used to eating. Or even if you are a vegan or a health conscious individual and you eat a lot of salads, if you're still adding oil to your salads, it's incredibly easy to overeat on oils because your body, it doesn't recognize them in terms of satiety. Nope, over here, come here, come here. Your stomach doesn't have to stretch at all. It hardly recognizes it, the volume of food when you're eating oil, because oil has hardly any volume, but it has tons of calories. So I hope that makes it a little bit more clear on how to easily choose how to eat to start losing weight. And this kind of puts it into your hands. So for me, I know when I was only eating fruits and vegetables and greens, those three foods that are on the lowest part of the scale, I felt like I was getting a little too skinny. And while I know that it was a very, very healthy skinny, I wasn't quite ready to be at that point yet. So I added back in grains and beans and potatoes that were just slightly more concentrated than the fruit, and I automatically started to fill out a little bit more. And so it's just a choice for you from now on to decide where upon this scale you're going to choose to eat and where you would like your body to be at. And of course, I want to mention that there are different body types to different genetic differences. That means that if you eat the same diet as me and we have two different body types, then we're still going to look different based upon our genetic expression. So that goes without saying. But if you eat a low-fat, high-raw diet or this very unconcentrated types of foods, then you will be at the lowest point for yourself. And of course, this also doesn't mean that you have to be perfect 100% of the time. I am not. I still eat chocolate now and then, and that is 3,000 calories per pound. But I keep it to very small amounts of chocolate, and the majority of my diet comes from fruits and vegetables, and then the next biggest portion is grains, beans, and potatoes. So I maintain the biggest portion of my diet comes from those foods on the lower end of the scale, and I just have tiny bits from the upper ends. And if you keep it to that way, then you will be at a very healthy weight and also have a very healthy body. If you would like a free recipe ebook that will help you get started on this low-fat, high-raw diet, then you can just go to www.happysexyhealthy.net and grab my instant download free recipe ebook right there. All right, I love you guys. I'll see you soon.